Hey guys, so I'm going to talk to you here just a little bit about what I know and understand about manifesting. Over the last couple of months, we've had the two full moons in Capricorn, which, as we've spoken about in previous videos, has brought up a lot for a lot of you to do with having to release various things that are no longer serving you in order to step into higher frequencies. And that will have been quite challenging and probably left a lot of you feeling really quite stuck. But now we're moving into phases where hopefully some of that has dropped. And even if you haven't managed to change or attune yourself to what it is that isn't serving you, hopefully you will have at least become aware of what that might be, so that when you do actually feel ready, you can move into that position. Now, manifesting predominantly works on frequency and vibration, so you're only going to draw to you what you are able to resonate with. So if you're in a very low frequency and you're in a negative state and you're in a state of anxiety or fear or feeling a lot of lack, then that's going to draw that vibration to you, which kind of sucks, and that's not where you want to be, obviously. And then it makes you anxious because you don't want to be in a low vibration, because you worry that it's going to attract more of that. So the first kind of key point there is to begin to learn how to lift your own frequency. And there are obviously lots of methods that you can use to do that, but one of the ones that I've found works best for me is noticing the small miracles or the small moments of gratitude, the things that I found that I did feel aligned with, the positive synchronicities that come into my life. So I use numerology with that as well. I pay attention to the kind of signs that are coming in. But increasing my intuition, doing lots of meditation and learning to work with my guides started to raise my vibration. And then that brought me into a state of more gratitude, and gradually I kind of aligned with higher and higher frequencies, and that has brought me more and more abundance. But one of the key things that you're going to find when you go through any spiritual journey is that you get shadow work come up, you get the density that no longer serves you comes up to be released. And the same, that will come into your manifesting. I don't see manifesting and a spiritual path as being separate things. If you want to do them well, you have to work with them together. The same as lining the top energy centers of the body with the lower ones. If you pay more attention to one than the other, then you're not either grounding your spiritual abilities and creativity into human experience, and if you only work with the lower centers, then you're not actually having that creativity and that vision to connect to the universe to bring yourself higher things. So trying to come into that kind of balance will be a useful thing, and you can do that by working on your chakras, and there's a wealth of knowledge available out there if that's something that's new to you. So as you go through those processes, you get called to release that density, and that's really where we've been over the last couple of months. So if you are really still holding on to something that you feel that you should let go of, that is going to hold you back if there's something that you're trying to manifest or create. It doesn't mean that nothing will happen at all, but if you are feeling that kind of intuitive kick that you do need to change something, then you do need to be able to learn how to release those things in order to be able to step up and attract more abundance. So if your frequency is if you're usually in quite a high frequency, but you've felt recently with the last couple of months that you have just something now that needs to change a little, or that you need to adjust something somewhere, then all the time that you don't do that, you're going to hold your frequency down a little bit. And we often think in a way such as, well, if I end this relationship, then I'm going to be in a situation that's difficult for me, and therefore I need to manifest my abundance first in order that I can change my circumstances. Doesn't work like that. So if you want to create more abundance, but you're in a bad job, a bad relationship, a bad location, and you think that creating the abundance is going to get you out of that, actually what you're feeding into the universe is the idea of lack. It's the idea that I don't have this thing, and I'm not content with my life. I'm not grateful with my grateful for my circumstances, and I want to take myself out of it. Which, unfortunately, you just get more of that lack, more of that without mentality coming back to you from the universe. So if you do feel like the job that you're in is causing a situation where you're not able to kind of really actualize yourself and step into that higher frequency to manifest abundance, then although it's not always easy and sometimes it can cause us quite a lot of turmoil finding our way through these situations, all the time that you're holding on to the job, hoping to get something better, you're likely to just end up remaining more and more stuck. And then, of course, you can end up spiraling downwards with your frequency kind of getting lower because you're not happy. And that doesn't give you the opportunity. So even if you can't step right out and leave it straight away, start laying the blueprint, that creating the motions that you can, everything that you can, to start actually taking yourself out of it, to start becoming in a mindset of someone who is doing something that they're enjoying. Even if you have to kind of give yourself almost a role to play of somebody who is feeling content, starting to change the way that your mind processes the experience, rather than, oh, this job sucks, I need to get out of it, you can start adjusting yourself to thinking, this is a really good learning experience for me. It's teaching me what I'm not in alignment with and allowing me to concentrate on what I am in alignment with. So it's a way of looking at things and a way of talking to yourself, because the mind chatter that you have when it comes to manifesting is hugely important. If you talk yourself in any way into something negative, you don't have, you can't do, you're not good enough for, then you're going to bring that more onto yourself. You also notice as you go about this procedure that the kind of negativity that's reflected to you're more likely to experience negativity from other people when you're in a negative mindset, because you just draw it towards you. So if you're very anxious about something, or if there's a certain thing that happens, say with a neighbour, where they're allowing too much noise and it's winding you up or whatever, I'm just trying to think of an example, but the more that you focus on that, the more you're going to notice it, and then you'll start noticing noises coming from all over the place and bothering you. That's just one kind of example, but the more that we put our attention onto something, the more that we experience it. So you really can't kind of manifest from a place of wanting to get rid of something or wanting to have more of something that you feel you don't have. You have to change the way in which your mind talks to you about what you're experiencing, and that allows you to start to begin to step into a different frequency. And once you do that, once you kind of make that first step out of that mind chatter and that lower vibration and perception, then the steps upwards from that get easier and easier, and you'll find that first you go from manifesting a parking space to then you can manifest a whole house. Maybe not necessarily overnight like that, but that's what happens. Each thing that you can manifest gets bigger and bigger and bigger the more that you open yourself to it. And you will experience times where you're dragged back down again because you've got stuff to release. I've personally gone through a process like that recently. So I've been in a state of real flow energy and manifesting all kinds of beautiful things into my life. Then recently had something where I've had to look and go, okay, there's density here because something isn't resonating anymore, and working out what to do about that situation, and in order to be able to lift frequency again and continue to manifest abundance and step into like the kind of highest potential that I have, which I think we constantly throughout our lives will find higher and higher levels of potential. So we think that we've manifested everything that we wanted into our lives, and then we realize, hey, I can go bigger. But that's just the process, because you've accepted that it's possible for you and that you're able to do it. Have a think about how you talk to yourself. What do you say to yourself about yourself? And even if you just have to kind of be like an actor and imagine being a different character for a while, just to start to transform the way that you create those perspectives, it will begin to serve you and you'll start to step into higher vibrations.